Yo, what up, Mexican bean soup? How's everything? Now, tonight's topic, we're just talking about the basic buffoonery that's been going on. I mean, in these social media streets. When it comes to what actually happened in my hood, Hassan Campo being shot on live, and then the Blueface and his baby mama and all the other clout chasing celebrities that we actually have in this space. So, we could talk a little bit about YouTube as well. But, so far everything's been good. I don't know what's the new hold up, but I do know that creeps are going to be creeps and haters are going to be haters. Okay, so what happened between Blueface and Lil Mabu? Because I know that chick, what's her name, Christian Rock or whatever. On the video, they went up and they said that okay, she went up and had a fake tat or a real tat that says Mabu's cat or whatever. I mean, Lil Babu is just a white guy that just hangs with Brooklyn rappers. I can't really say that he's really a talented rapper anyway, so. And neither is Blueface. As he should. I heard that Christian Rock got like a new Rolls Royce truck or something. Anybody could confirm that? All right. I wonder where's Hebrew lying at when you need him. And Mexican, we gotta link up on these days, you know what I mean? Cause I'm like, yo, there's a rich white guy that goes into the richest colleges in America who pretends he's from the ghetto. What's up, Herbie? Yeah, I only caught like a little bit of Jose's live, but I guess a special guest came from Canada. I didn't know what he said, but I know that Jose was laughing. He was born rich, got you. And you could take drugs and be poor. That's how it goes if you don't manage your money right. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that too. Well, I actually saw it like in the back chat that a certain idiot was there. The only reason you even show up on Jose's panel is because of me. I tell you, some of these dudes are miserable. Got my own platform. Don't really even mess with people, but yet they still obsessed with me. I guess I live rent free in certain people's heads. I don't really care. They don't pay my bills anyway, so let them live rent. Let their thoughts of me live rent free in their head. Hey, please. Well, Doctor, the last time I heard that he might be on the low, so he's not really gonna be doing the social media thing that much, from what I heard. So I know that he's laying low. I haven't really spoke to him like that, like maybe in 2 weeks. I might add. So he's just laying low right now. Yeah, he did. I mean, I know that he got demonetized, so he was saying that it'll be like maybe 5 months until he actually gets back monetized. And it was because of I guess using copyrighted info or whatever. So copyright strike happens, so they demonetized him for that. So you'll have to be back in the YouTube good graces in order for that. All right, so I'm back. So one thing I gotta say is that with the buffoonery that goes on here on social media and with celebrities, etc., it's that when we're gonna actually hold people accountable for their buffoonery and stop blaming it on mental illness. Mhm. Yeah, well, that's stupid because at the end of the day, they could actually track them. Like, think about it. Use a voice, but if, if it's not that person's address or anything like that, it could be easily tracked. So that's stupid within itself. hookers. Ah, wow. They're calling hookers out of all people. Hmm. So it's funny that if there were TV, use my voice to call hookers out of all people. When I wasn't even married, I would never be near a hooker. Why would I be one right now? I'm telling you, it just gets namer and namer by the day. You're calling hookers out of all people. Hookers. Dag. Have I never seen a sorry simp ever? And you calling hookers? I tell you, these simps are just revealing themselves more and more. It's garbage. Or the colloquial term flips to society. Oh, wow. Can I make this up? Mm. So, with all the buffoonery, right? What makes so-called alpha men that hates content creators that don't really care about them? Let's see. If they're alpha males, right? Why they acting like broads for? I mean, if two people speak and you don't get along with the other person, why do you care? I mean, I couldn't stand females and they don't want other people to talk to their enemies or whatever. But yet I have no relation or never even meet these people, but yet they're so mad of me and my friendships that I've developed over these YouTube streets. So that's just starting to think, am I really that important that you have to see what the heck I'm doing? Or am that just that high level of a threat? Ugh. Please don't say that. Ugh. Yes. Wow. That's gross. That is like the grossest thing ever. I mean, people have their lifestyles or whatever, okay. But to be obsessed with me, wow. You really got no life. I mean, try to be obsessed with Trump or something. Or me. Plain old me. I'm not even rich. But yet they're obsessed with me. Wow. They're obsessing over dudes. Imagine when they actually get with a female and they break their heart. It's like, oh no, we're gonna get around a stalker. Yay. I'm like, cares. Stalking is boring. Let's be honest. You're gonna go waste your time just to follow another person that you don't even like. I mean, you want to stalk, do this, do that, and do whatever. But you're obsessed with plain old me. I don't get it. That is too damn funny. I mean, half the people who actually hate me will never be on my show, let alone try to be on my panel. So, they're gonna be obsessed just because I stand my ground on who I am, and they have tried unsuccessfully to try to prove their point that I am a fake Dominican. I mean, it's just getting pitiful. What they're gonna do? They're gonna go and search my mail. I mean, like, come on. On other people's panels. I was on another person's panel the other day. I mean, I know my Spanish is bad, right? But how the heck you sound stupid in both languages, English and Spanish? I know who I'm dissing with this. You know, the guys are. I'm like, really? And you want to go and try to act like you really get female. Let alone, the only female I think that will actually date a guy who sounds like a professional sausage sucker will be a female that has no pride, that has no morals, and 9 times out of 10 leads the money. We all know who we're talking about. I sent the link, so I'll have to see what he's doing. Just wait up. I mean, I don't know and don't really care. So I was at the Dominican parade, and that person was scared to see me, but yet they want to talk crap. Ugh. I mean, the thing says it got kids, but yet they use terminology which is not of a woman. Maybe I'm missing something. Mm. Yeah, I've been hearing about a certain beef that's happening, and I don't know, but to me, it just look one-sided within these social media streets. It's between two parties, one Dominican and one African. But while the person is making the video saying that that person is self-hating or whatsoever, the other person, I don't think is even caring about what they're saying, and they're actually making videos on how to actually buy a house in the Dominican Republic and the steps to do so. So I actually find the other content, which is actually mostly knowledgeable and educationally entertaining. Would divester be a really right term? Because let's be honest. If she really is, why is it that certain people like within that continent have the same sentiments towards ADOS or FBA? That's one thing that I've actually seen, which is quite confusing. Me being an Afro Latino, so certain people have called it out, but then when they call it out or they make the videos and everything, they'll be like, "Oh, this, that, and the third." But yet, it's like the videos that they will make about this woman will bounce like Teflon, will bounce like bullets off Teflon. So I only really see that their strategy is actually working. And I've heard a lot of other stuff too, which I haven't really seen, because I guess I haven't really been in the space that long. But I've heard that this person has actually been on social media describing her private parts. So if a person is gonna be doing whatever, they'll be like, okay, why you have the need to describe your private parts for? Like, if that was the part of the conversation, I don't get it. Hey, how you doing? Right, but this person is actually from the mainland of Africa, so she would not fall in those categories. I don't. So, what would you think will be the core of her doing this? It has to be like a childhood trauma or something like that. What's your thoughts about that, Mexican? Really? I didn't know that. Hmm. Did she succeed in her goal or what? Wow, more than 15 videos. Hmm. Dang. 15 videos. Wow. Hmm. Something to look into. Wow. Hmm. I didn't even know that. Well, me personally, I never really went that far. I know that I follow her on Instagram, but she wanted to go and when I went up and I had the argument with the idiot, she went up and tried to take his side. So I didn't know what was the basis of that. But now that you're actually explaining it, it actually makes a lot of sense. Well, if her brother has so I guess that's the case that she does. I mean, if she does, who cares? Because at the end of the day, the more people that hate us, there's going to be more people that love us. So they'll call somebody a divester, but what would we call her? Since she's actually from the mainland. Will she be a divester or just a person with deep self-hatred? What up, Dudley? How you doing? Put the link in the description. All right. I mean, I was supposed to have an interview, but yet she said that she wanted it short. So that might be in the works, because now that I've actually had like some new equipment or whatsoever, I might try that out. Also, I'm going to try to prepare to actually make some more live streams, or not live streams, but more video content of me going back to my old neighborhood, and we're talking and interview the people that I grew up with or was raised with, so I could actually make my own channel interesting. And maybe on Saturday, depending on what I'm doing, I might just make my first restaurant vlog and see what it is. So, for anybody that don't know, shout out to my homie Dudley. I came up on his stream, just looking for a stream just to look at. And one thing I could actually say that he's no holds barred. I like his raw style and his approach that he's not afraid of anybody. They could try to dox him or anything like that. One thing I've actually say about Dudley as a streamer, he actually holds his ground, and I actually salute him for that. So at the end of the list or anything like that, if y'all feel free to go oh yeah, go and support Dudley. I mean, yeah, but the thing is though, like say, I'm not gonna go do it in my home base. I was thinking that if I was going to do it, I'll do it like in another city or something like that, because you're all right. There's a whole bunch of creeps and stalkers, and we've seen them all. Well, mostly the creeps. I mean, if you're gonna go and stalk a 6 foot something guy, and you want to go and see what I'm doing and know all my movements, 9 times out of 10, your life sucks. Let's be for real. Yeah, I was actually trying to do like because I'm actually inspired to actually do a food vlog by listening to Mark Wings and this other guy. Well, he's a Vietnamese guy that lives in Canada. So I was trying to actually, okay, go to a place, not show, like I'll show the place, but the thing is though, I will not do a live stream about it, because it's pointless. So if I was to, I would try to edit the video to the point that, yeah, I went to this restaurant, not to know what time or day that I went to. So therefore, by the time I put out that video, people would think like, oh, like he's been everywhere. But the thing is though, I could just go to certain restaurants in 5 days and nobody would know the difference. Yo, Mexican, do you know, on the road though, you, me, and Hebrew Lion, we gotta link up, bro. Cause I'm telling you, if we actually, I'm actually having like a anti-ignorance coalition. So exactly, because there's a lot of people who are actually not with dumb ignorance, and it's to the point that everybody's sick and tired of it. So, whatever branch you may fall on, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, I don't care what political affiliation you have. As long as you could actually debate, hold your point, and be respectful at the end, yeah, we could have a coalition against ignorance. That's what we have to fight against. Because at the end of the day, certain people are going to have what they're going to have. Certain people are going to have certain prejudices. But if you're going to go with prejudice to actually go and tell a person with your bold faces lie, saying that you're a history major, or the fact is you're not, and you want to go and gaslight other people's history like you really know it all, 9 times out of 10, it's just showing you ignorance. You could even actually have a college degree and still be ignorant. And I'm seeing that a lot in these YouTube streets. So my thing is that when I came onto YouTube, I didn't come in YouTube for anything. I just came in YouTube. I'm like, okay, I'm going to join this panel. I didn't even know what StreamYard was. I just joined it. The next thing you know, I am being called a creyente, or whosoever the heck that person was. Now, when somebody went and explained to me who creyente was, I'm like, okay, but I never met this person. And I just came up on the stream like, they'll call me creyente and all these stuff. But I guess that my very existence go against the racist narratives. And I guess I've been going through this over a year. And I could actually say that if you have a whole bunch of people who are ganging up against you, you could actually see how much power you wield. Yeah, I did. I let like as soon as those incidents happened, I went to my HR and I let them know what was going down. Mm, I doubt that will happen, but that's all I gotta say. If there were, if it was to come down to that, um, I actually let my job know, and certain people who would actually do that, like my job, they don't play. So, and then on top of it, since I've been working in my job for 4 years, there's certain people that do not like me. But then overall, certain people have said that I am a dependable worker where I work at, which I don't really publicize where I work at or whatsoever because it's nobody's business and everybody makes a life. So if a person is so mad that I'm actually working and they actually come and they're like, oh, we're gonna get you, you're slow, you're this, you're that, and they're mad that I'm working, that means that I won't have to battle. I'm working and I'm not even caring about y'all. Y'all doing this investigations on me. When the fact is you could have took your investigative know-how and you could actually get the girl your dreams. But yet you're really obsessed with me. Simps. I could say that is beyond stupidity to go around and know about a guy who is actually married and working. But yet they have all the time in the world, but yet they couldn't get a girl. Something's not right with that picture. I mean, yeah, I actually agree because y'all doing all of this, but yet you have a whole squad that y'all doing this. So that means that you linked up with 16 other losers just to hate on working people. Wow. I could actually understand why certain people actually get to make their own companies. And salute to the entrepreneurs that's actually making it happen. And it's funny that certain people could go and try to dox entrepreneurs. But there's one thing that these incels and doxers forgot when they actually doxing entrepreneurs. What can you actually do to a person that actually works for themselves? Can't get a person fired who works for themselves. So therefore, that's self-defeating. Let's be honest. It is. A person's their own boss. He's like, oh, I'm going to get you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Okay, well, guess what? They have nobody to answer to but themselves. So therefore, a person doxing an entrepreneur or a person that actually has a function in business will actually backfire on them. Because at the end of the day, they're still working for somebody while that person's making money for themselves and they could enjoy their whole lives. I see that as a losing situation. That's like me dissing Bill Gates. What can you actually do to Bill Gates when the guy could actually buy your whole neighborhood? I mean, dissing Bill Gates is like the worst. It's coming out as a loser situation. Or you're dissing, let's say out of all people, Elon Musk. A lot of people may not understand or what he's doing. Certain people may not even like Tesla. But guess what? You could diss Elon Musk. You could have your Twitter shut down and buy up your whole block. He can't do nothing about it. That's a loser situation. So people that actually go after entrepreneurs, people who actually own their own business, whether it'll be online or in the physical form, and they're thinking that they're going to do something while they're actually working for somebody else, making somebody else's dreams happen. I can tell you, it's that person has a lost situation, just an entrepreneur or a business owner. Don't you agree, Mexican? You know, I cannot confirm or deny that, but I do know that a lot of immigrants or migrants are getting thrown out of certain places in New York. So as far as Philly, I do not know. But if they were to go to Philly, I mean, Philly's not New York. I'm just gonna be honest. Philly doesn't really have the size of New York City. So if they were to go and have migrants at one place, then on top of it, Philadelphia itself is actually suffering from an opioid epidemic. So you put migrants where there's a opioid epidemic, the epicenter of it. And then a lot of these young men, or boys I might add, are actually deleting each other by frivolous gang wars, which are actually fueled by the Philly drill scene. So a lot of people that I've actually talked to, Uber drivers and people who've been lifelong residents of Philadelphia, are actually tired of the violence that's actually happening. And they're actually tired of the opioid crisis. So if they're going to go and bus migrants to Philadelphia, I think they need to find another democratic city or sanctuary that they need to bust them to, because if you put migrants, let's just say if you put migrants near Kensington, out of all places, that's going to be a powder keg that authorities and politicians are not ready for. But that's just my opinion, though. And again, I cannot confirm or deny if migrants are being bused to Philadelphia. I'm just putting that out on record. Well, from an article that I read, and I guess that happened in May, they say the total of migrants that actually came to Philadelphia, that was 950, and that was in May 10th of this year. So I cannot speak if there's currently any migrants coming to Philadelphia being buzzed or not. So we'll just have to wait and see about the news about that. If I'm voting in the elections, well, technically the election, well, okay, if it's 2024, I'm gonna say nah, because I don't like none of the candidates. I do not like Biden, and I do not like Trump. So I'm just gonna sit out the elections next year. Because I don't even consider myself a Republican or Democrat anymore, to tell you the truth. Oh yeah, one thing. Shout out to the angry biracial that's on the chat line. You know what I mean? And if y'all can, check out his new songs that are actually on his website. So therefore, I've listened to some of it, and I can say that this man actually has talent. So the topic for tonight is buffoonery, which is actually on social media and celebrity buffoonery also. So my thing is this. Well, since Angry Biracial is here, I'll actually explain the situation. Last week, a fellow YouTuber by the name of Hassan Campbell had a breakdown in front of. He had a meltdown on his live. So while he was having a meltdown on his live, it was about Cassie and Diddy settling their lawsuit. So after that happened, certain residents started throwing bottles at Hassan Campbell, and then the video switches to where he's going to the hospital, and I don't know how many times he got shot, but I do know that he got shot in the arm. So you had a lot of prominent YouTubers who were saying that he was faking it or he did this for views. When the fact is, a lot of people, even police scanners in New York City, confirmed that this man got shot in real time. So I don't know, and they showed him in the hospital gurney, I guess them taking the bullet out of his arm or his back or wherever he got shot at. So his favorite buzzwords are turn your TV off and getting your snot box rocked when a person is unalived or deleted violently. All right, so as a parent, angry biracial, and if Kychella, she's still here. What are your views on the scuffle as a parent between King Harris and T.I.? Because a lot of people are making this headway and everything like that, and they got into a scuffle. I could not see it clearly. But then there's a lot of memes that there's people who are actually dissing that man's son, King Harris, for his physical features. That he either looked like a toy or a Pac-Man or whatsoever the case may be. But as parents, because I know there's certain parents that actually check out my own panel or my show and everything like that. What are your views between, as a parent, the scuffle that happened between T.I. and his son King Harris? I just want a parent's outtake about this, because certain people could talk about they could do this, they could do that, but I want to know directly from people who are parents. two children, like what is there, what is, what would you would have done, or what level would it be that it will never be that? So I just want to have a parent's insight to this. Right. Me neither. But it's just that, we're just talking about day and age, because certain celebrities, they could act like they're not influencing the public, but they actually are. I respect that. Yes, I do. I got two pets, and I love them dearly, to tell you the truth. I mean, we had a pet, but unfortunately, it was my brother-in-law, and it passed. And now he has a new pet, so therefore, whenever the pet actually visits our house, he's actually a part of the family too, even though he's a big puppy. So the pets that are mine are a pit bull and a black and white cat. As species of cat, I'm not really knowledgeable about what that cat is, so I cannot really tell you what type of cat that I'd have. But maybe in the future, I'm saying like maybe in the future, I might just get myself a pair of cats, because they're nice and big. Feral cats, they actually look nice when certain people, I guess, outside of the United States have them. So the question back to you, do you have pets, Mexican? Hey, discussion, Salon, how's everything? I mean, if you can, I'll put the link in the description. You could come up. Yo, Mexican, we got to talk behind the scenes because I love me a Tibetan master, and my and well, somebody that I know they got a German Shepherd too, but they're just a pup right now. But it's growing, yo. I mean, I never seen a pup grow that big in 2 months. Okay, gotcha. I hear you. I mean, I went up and I sometimes use my USB headphones, or like say if I use the laptop, I went up and I purchased myself a mic. I forgot what it's called, but most of the prominent YouTubers use it. So whenever I have my other segment, which is on Friday, which I'm actually going to be on, is going to be in Spanish or Spanglish, of course. I'm going to try to make my content on that Friday for that segment music based. And then I have open topics that we could talk about anything and everything. So I'm trying to actually have that discipline that I could actually make those contents in those days. And hopefully my channel will grow in due process. Oh yeah, and also shout out to the GTA Talk now. So that's out in the UK. So salute to them also. They're actually live at this moment also.
Hey, hey, how's it going?
It's going okay.
Good,
So
mate.
how's everything in the UK?
Yeah, everything's fine. I had a trip to Edinburgh recently.
All right.
I went back to where my family came from and had a look around the town and had a few drinks and ate some good food and chilled out basically.
Yeah. I mean, me here in the States, we had Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
My sister and my cousins, they actually came to my place of residence.
nice.
And It was actually good. We traded a couple of jokes,
Yeah,
and we had some good food.
that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yes. So okay, one thing that I've seen, and I just want to know something about British cuisines, right?
Okay, yeah, far away.
Okay. Um. So in certain places, which is in England, right?
Yep.
Do they still just kill live poultry like pheasants and everything like that?
Yeah, people still eat that type of stuff.
I would love to visit the UK one of these days.
I mean, my job was a chef for 18 years,
Yeah.
and we used to cook a dish with it was a poi lentil and a black pudding with hazelnut ragu with pigeon
Mm-hmm.
breast.
Hazelnut ragu. Wow.
Yeah,
That sounds tasty right there. I ain't gonna front.
yeah, we used to do that as a starter.
Nice.
Have a small pigeon breast, just gently fry it off, season it, just a little bit of salt, pepper. That's all it needs, and
Right.
make it nice and pink and place it on top of the ragu, and people like that.
Nice.
Have you ever tried pigeon?
Nah, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't, but I've heard that pigeon meat and pheasant
Yes.
taste similar to chicken and turkey.
No, it tastes pigeon tastes similar to beef.
It does? Hmm.
Yeah,
I've heard that ostrich taste similar to beef also.
it does. It does. I've
Uh,
tried ostrich steak.
wow. Yeah, because the reason why I was talking about ostrich is like I saw that. I don't know if you ever watched this channel called Wilderness Cooking. So it's like this guy. He's like a chef, not chef, but he knows how to cook because he lived in Azerbaijan all his life.
Yeah,
So he actually makes his own tandoori. He actually has his own ostrich. He prepares it like in his backyard, which is like near mountains.
yeah,
And it's very interesting on how this guy never uses a microwave or anything like that, but he just uses nature as far as stones. He actually knows how to make his own oven. And I mean, the way that this guy does his stuff, and it actually looks nice and
yeah,
wholesome. The food
yeah.
that he actually cooks is amazing.
I'm just trying to think how many people an ostrich could feed.
I mean, the way that this guy went up and had the ostrich, I mean, he actually fed it to like maybe 10 kids. So
Wow.
I think in total, and these are just children. So I
Yeah,
think in total, it could feed like maybe 8 adults per se.
I think an ostrich can do more than that. I mean, an ostrich egg is about 18 or 19 eggs.
Right,
It'd be good to see. Let me Google this.
right.
Talk about ostriches there.
I know.
Okay. Can an ostrich egg feed? Many people can an ostrich egg feed. Okay, so yeah, one ostrich egg can feed 8 or 10 people.
Oh yeah. Before anything, shout out to Keisha Robinson for being on the chat. So I just have to give a shout out also. So I know that a holiday for y'all is actually coming up, Boxing Day. Am I correct?
We have Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, then Boxing Day.
Yeah. For some reason, me being in the States, I feel like I'm missing out on something. But then my Canadian friend says that I'm actually not though. So who knows?
Oh no, you're not missing out anything. The traditional holiday is just Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day. Then you
Right,
have New Year's Eve and Hogmanay, which is New Year's Day. New Year's Eve, sorry. New Year's Eve is Hogmanay, and carries on to New Year's Day. And
right.
there's different customs in Scotland compared to England in those days.
Got you.
In Scotland, in New Year's Day, you've got to go first footing. As if you arrive in somebody's house, you got to bring a drink with you,
Right.
and the food served on Christmas New Year's Day is steak pie.
Mm.
They make this big steak pie, and you have that for New Year's Day dinner.
Well, nah. I love me some steak. I'm not gonna front. Next
Oh
to
yeah.
pizza, I love me a good well cooked steak.
Well, just imagine a lot of braised steak with a bit of puff pastry on top,
Mm.
and gravy and mashed potato and all of that other stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what you traditionally have in Scotland on New Year's Day. Then you carry on drinking and drinking and drinking until you pass out, and on this about a week after. So you're like you wake up and you're drinking, and when you as soon as you wake up.
Yeah,
But
I'm sorry if I
yeah,
don't mute the mic or anything like that because there'll be loud noise in the background.
that's
So
cool.
I'm just saying that, whenever you're talking stuff, I'm just saying like for
Yeah,
anybody who be on the panel, I just cut off my mic, so therefore, I'm just not being rude or anything like that. So I'm just informing anybody.
understand. Understand. And just trying to think of other traditions you have of Scottish people have on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I know in Peru, the native population is called Takanui or Tanakui or something like that. That is like everybody they round up, anybody who has beef with each other or anything like that,
Yeah.
they settle it with the fist fight on
Okay.
Christmas Day.
On New Year's Eve, just before the bells, we call it the bells, that which is 12 o'clock. Just before the bells, Scottish tradition is you clean all of your house.
Mm.
Your house has got to be spotless. And that is because it lets the old year out. So you get all the dust from all the old year supposed to be, and it lets it all out, and you've got a clean house to start with.
You know what's funny?
Hmm.
All right, even though that I'm American of two Dominican parents, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know that. Yeah,
My mother, um, her parents came from St. Kitts, so
yeah,
therefore, when you actually describe that tradition,
uh huh,
I remember my mother doing that same thing. And now
yeah,
that you have described it, and my mother always told me that I've had like, even though I never met them because they all passed on.
sure,
My mother always said that I had like a great um, grandmother who was from Scotland,
okay,
and then my grandfather's grandfather was from Portugal or somewhere else.
yeah,
So therefore, when you actually said that tradition, I was like, wow, it sounds similar to what my mom used to do.
yeah. Well, as you know, I've done my family tree, and I found out one of my, I can't remember how many times, but one of my great grandfathers served in the British Army, and he took his family over to the Caribbean. And I found out that,
Really?
yeah, I found out that one of my great grand was born on a ship, and she was registered at Barbados.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm,
So her on her birth certificate, if it was written, it would go St. Martin's, Barbados.
right.
So technically, she's Caribbean.
By birth. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, by birth, yeah.
And then it was like you have like a certain population, like when we're talking about the Caribbean,
Hmm.
that you have Saba Island and you have all the other former British territories, that they
Yeah.
still actually have a significant amount of people who are actually descended from the British Isles.
I wouldn't know, but I probably guess there'd be a amount, some amount of people who's descended from people from Britain.
Yeah,
You always find any colony or colonization. There's always a certain amount of people who were born from the country that colonized them.
yeah, and it's and as far as anything, because I was just up in the Bahamas. I was like, yeah, it was last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year on the cruise. So when I went to Nassau and I seen the whole island and everything like that, we were talking about the history, the British governors and everything.
Yeah,
It was actually it was actually amazing, the history that I was learning during that trip. So I think I might just put a second video out as soon as I edit it, because
yeah.
most of the footage that I got was me really being in a taxi, and they're showing a whole bunch of places in Barbados, in not Barbados, I mean in the Bahamas,
Yeah.
and the beautiful houses where Oprah and Beyonce they actually stay at.
All the rich houses, yeah.
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 And then on top of it, somebody was telling me that that this whole apartment that they had, or
Hmm.
condo, just cost $3 million just to own in the Bahamas. I was like, wow.
Wow.
And then this happened after the Queen passed away.
Yeah, it's St Andrew's Day today.
Yeah.
It's patron saint of Scotland.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, St Andrew is patron saint of Scotland. One of
Mhm.
Christ's disciples who got crucified on a cross
Yeah.
on an X,
Right.
and that's why you got that's why the Scottish flag has got an X.
Yep.
A little bit of information there. I'll tell you where I live. I live in a place which is just outside of London, and I tell you much the most expensive houses are here.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So
Would that be? I've heard of places, but is Cornwall in London or it's next to London?
no, it's miles away from London.
All right.
Have you heard of John Paul Getty?
I've heard of the name, but I'm not really familiar with it. But I've heard of the name,
Yeah, he's
during British programming and
yeah,
such that
no, no,
I've watched.
he was American. He's an American bloke.
Hmm.
He was born in Minneapolis. He was a oil tycoon,
Right.
and he owned this massive mansion in a place called Ripley.
Wow.
And you ought to see the drive. The driveway is like a mile away.
Mm.
Because like when you see the movies when you see the rich people just drive down this long driveway. They go
Yeah.
through these beautiful gates and there's all brickwork and all that. It's exactly like that.
Wow.
You know, it is. I mean, I used to walk past it every day because I used to work near there,
All right.
and it was just, yeah, you just wish you lived there. Actually, you know what
Anybody wish?
I mean? You just wish you had the money to.
Yep.
And you used to hold Christmas parties there too for the children.
Exactly. So, all right, a question that I'm about to, a question I gotta ask you because I don't know, because I know certain stuff of Brit of the UK culture, and I do not know certain things of the UK culture.
Right, far away.
So, when you grew up, right?
Yeah.
What was the British sentiment at the time when it came to immigrants and the Jewish population that no, well, okay, the protected class population at that time?
Well, when I was growing up, you got to remember, Britain's been hit by freedom of movement. Freedom, and you got to remember that also the Windrush generation too.
All right.
You know the Windrush generation.
What? Okay. Would that be considered the boomers or people who were born in the 1970s?
Okay, so the Windrush generations are people who came from Jamaica,
Right.
in from the 50s to the 70s because of World War Two.
Right.
There was because of men dying, there wasn't enough people to fulfill the jobs, so they transported people from the colonies from India. Even though India already left by after World War Two, Jamaica and other places like the Caribbean, and people who moved of the Caribbean, there's a big. What happened was that the Home Office found out that this they didn't get British citizenship, and some of these people got deported back to Jamaica or the Caribbean, which was wrong because they got invited to come over here.
Exactly.
So when they got invited to come over here, they didn't get British citizenship. But we knew where I was, we didn't have many. There wasn't many black people.
All right.
It was just one because I just came from a village in Surrey. I lived in a village
All
in Surrey.
right.
We had one black person. She was Jamaican. She was a lovely person. We called her Ditty,
All right.
and she used to talk and to my mum, and she used to buy us sweets and stuff like that. And we always you all got on well with her. But she was the only black person we sort of knew. But I grew up in Advantage because I was a member of the Mormon Church,
All right.
and there was one or two black people going into the Mormon Church too. There was another Jamaican. He was a dentist, and his name was Angus.
All right.
Made brilliant curries. You just put everything into the pot, and you could just cook it up.
Gotcha.
He was an amazing bloke. Stern.
Mhm.
He was a stern person, but he was an amazing bloke too.
Nice.
And but so we didn't have that type of. We didn't have because you find that mostly they put like black people or Indian people or Asian people into cities.
Right.
You know, from London to Birmingham to Bradford to Leicester to other places like that.
Right.
And I just grew up in a village in Surrey, and all right, we had the shops. We had the shops there. They're Asian. They're from Pakistan too. So you there. So we grew up using words, and we don't use it now. We grew up using words. If we're going to go for a Chinese, we're going for a chinky. Or
Got you.
if you go into the shop, you'll go to the packy shop. We know it's wrong now, but we didn't think it was wrong when we were younger.
All right.
You know, we
Right.
weren't we weren't being racist. We're just saying we're just going to the shop.
Right.
So we've had a bit of that, but we really see my area was predominantly a white area.
Yeah. So let's okay. So how was the 80s like? Because I know I was born in the 80s in the United States.
Okay. What like was the 80s? Oh, the 80s were amazing. The Oh, the music. We grew up with the threat of
Live
nuclear
Aid
war.
concert?
Uh,
Did you go to the Live Aid concert?
no, I was way too young for that.
Oh, okay.
I was born in 75,
Got you.
so I would have been about 7, 8, or 9. I can't remember when Live Aid was.
All right.
But yeah, it was. Do you know what I can remember from that? It was just the threat of nuclear war. I can remember getting because my dad's ex-military. I can remember getting leaflets
All right.
through the door on how to build your own nuclear fallout shelter.
Wow.
Yeah, my dad just chucked them in the bin, and I remember saying, "Why did you do that for?" And he goes, "In a threat of nuclear war, you just might as well put your head between your legs and kiss your own ass goodbye."
Exactly.
You know, and we had the propaganda movies. What I call the propaganda movies was Top Gun,
All
Rambo,
right.
Commando.
Yeah.
Movies like these were propaganda movies.
Yeah. I think a little bit of the Chuck Norris movies were propaganda movies too.
Yes,
I
yes,
guess.
definitely, most definitely. And but you got to also remember that in Britain it was we were living under the threat of terrorism in the 80s too. We had to be careful about bombs and stuff like that
Right.
because we had the IRA bombing us.
Well, yeah. They were the one that unalived Lord Mountbatten, if I'm
Yes,
correct.
yeah, they blew his boat up, and along with the boy in his boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Irby said, Rocky Four, the Prussian. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah, it was.
Yep, we were living under mean because I lived near a military town. It was a more heightened then too.
All right.
You know, people were more aware. There was, or we had bomb threats at our school,
All right.
so we didn't have fire. We didn't have fire alarms. We had bomb. Bomb. We
Yeah.
remember the first time we had that. We got told to leave our coats and jackets in the check cloakroom, and just to walk down to the bottom of the field.
Mm.
And the police would went over and done a checked the school for bombs.
All right.
Um, but I can remember being because, like I said, the area was a military area, and it was a bigger military area. And I
Right.
remember my hometown. It's not like this anymore, but full of soldiers. It was absolutely full of soldiers.
Right.
Um, and next to it was another town which had an airport,
Mm-hmm.
and we used to see the British Army trained, the paratroopers train from my bedroom
Hmm.
window, from my landing window. We used to see them
Right.
jump out. They used to get an old barrage, a World War II barrage balloon.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Okay, so they would put this in a park and they'd let it go fly, and they'd have like five soldiers in it, 5 or 6 soldiers in the basket, and they'd make them jump from the thing, and there'd be like a massive height, and they would you see the paratroopers, and you'll just see the parachutes opening from the window.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to see different planes fly over, different
Mm-hmm.
military planes. We used to see like a Hawker Hunter, and what was called Snoopy, which was a Hercules with a this weather cone or weather radar or massive radar on it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remember one time, I was only about 14, and I was walking to the doctors in my village, and next thing you know, there
Mm-hmm.
must have been around 14 or 15 of these light tanks that just went past me.
Yeah. You know what I find interesting about the UK?
Okay.
Um, did you ever watch that movie by Charles Bronson? I think it was Death Wish 3.
Yes, yes, of course, yes.
Yo, this what was funny. The whole time when I used to watch that movie, I actually thought that that movie was um was actually made in New York. But
Yeah,
then again, when they said it was the Bronx and the way that these guys were getting at each other, and you look at the background, I'm like, where is I was as a young kid, I was like, where is this in the Bronx? Because I never seen a hood that looks like this. Now,
it was in
n-
England.
n-
Yeah,
yes, and then when I saw I was in England, and then the guy that got beat up by Charles Bronson, I forgot his name, but he passed on now.
yeah.
May he rest in peace. When I saw this guy and they start playing like his exercise clip on like during the pandemic,
Uh huh.
I was like, yo, that was the same guy who's in that Charles Bronson movie.
You know why? You know why Death Wish was probably made in England, don't you? Death Wish 3,
Why was it made in England?
because of Michael Winner.
Mm,
He was the person that made it, didn't he?
mm.
Yeah, he was
I
English.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. I
Uh,
mean, the actors, well, they made it believable. I'm not gonna front. They made it believable that they were American or some other nationality. I mean, in that movie, it made certain people think like, oh, yo, this is actually the United States. When the fact is, when you actually look at where it was recorded at and everything like that, I was like, yo, it was made in the UK. Wow.
do you like Star Wars?
Yeah, yeah, to a point.
You know, most of
But I
that
could,
was made in the UK too.
yeah, but then again, like the desert scenes, was it made in the UK or was it made in Africa?
That was made in Tunisia.
Right.
The desert scenes. There's no place like that in England or Britain.
Yeah.
There's definitely no place like that.
Yeah.
But ISIS supposed to have, because ISIS got involved in Tunisia, didn't they?
Was it Tunisia or was it I know it's Tunisia. I know it's Algeria.
Yeah, they got involved in Tunisia too.
Yeah.
Attacked people there.
And I've always heard that Tunisia is like the most liberal out of the most Muslim countries worldwide. And then the next Muslim country which is somewhat liberal is Turkey.
Well, Tunisia was a massive tourist destination.
Hmm.
You got a lot of people went to Tunisia. It's like there's a lot of people go to Turkey too. A lot of Brits
Yeah.
go to Turkey. Used to go to Turkey, Tunisia, or Spain.
Yeah. So, all right. Is it true that you could drive from the UK to Gibraltar?
Um, Technically, yeah, because what you do is if you go to oh god, where's the train station? Okay, so you go to one of the train stations and you can get the Euro train, and you can put your
All
car
right.
on, you can put your car on the train, and it'll take you under the Channel Tunnel, and you can get to
Right.
France, and you can go through France and go through the bit connected to Spain to France, and you can drive
Hmm.
from there. So yeah, you can.
Yeah.
But it'd be quicker flying.
Right.
because you can get the plane from Heathrow or Gatwick or London or Southampton or any
Hmm.
thing, and they'll take you into Gibraltar. Or you can do what my brother done: join the army and you guarded the governor's house in Gibraltar.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, you can go to France, Germany, Holland. You can go to any. I mean, technically, you can drive to Russia from over here.
Wow.
Because as soon as you hit that border in Europe, as soon as you get off that train with your car,
Hmm.
I think they still do car travel on the Euro train. But if they
Right.
do car travel, you can go from France to Russia.
Wow. Let me check on something.
Right, getting a quick drink.
Yeah, I just did a map about it,
Yeah,
and it was like, and it will take like 31 hours from Paris to Moscow.
yeah. Unless you're German, and it takes about 18 hours.
Right.
Little World War II joke. We always got to pick on the Germans.
Right.
Well, they started it, didn't they? They invaded Poland.
Right.
But that's how World War II was a major part of how Europe governs itself now. And it was a major part of it was a major part of the Cold War too.
Yeah.
Because you had Germany was split into different groups. You had
You had the Russian side of Germany, which is the
yeah,
Eastern Bloc, and then it was West Germany.
yep, and there was West Germany, which was split into three different groups: American, British, and French.
Wow. I heard at that time. I heard at that time because my cousin had a friend that served in the U.S. Army at that time.
Yep.
He said during the 1970s, he was saying that Germany at that time was a great place to be at.
Oh, my dad said that too. My dad served
Yeah.
in Germany, and he said my dad also done Hong Kong.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. One place that I wanted to go, but I guess is destroyed right now in Hong Kong, is the walled city. They they even showed it in that movie Bloodsport
The
with
world.
John Claude Van Damme.
I don't think the Chinese destroyed that.
Nah, they actually did though. They actually destroyed that walled city, and it is now like a big park, of the remnants of what this place was, because it had an interesting history, meaning that it was called the walled city because it was like an old wall that they couldn't really do anything with.
Yeah.
So therefore people who had doctorate, who had their own businesses or gangsters, etc., they actually lived there. But then it was like a functioning unit that people could just go through their places of residence and whatsoever, and nobody
Wow.
will really know because there was like because even though that Hong Kong was British government,
Yep.
certain people just who came from China just went into that building and then they just blended in.
I see. I can remember when Britain gave up Hong Kong.
Yeah, that was 1997.
Yeah.
I was mad when that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I was mad that it happened.
Well, because it was on a lease, you see.
Yeah, it was on a lease like in 1856. 1856, I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and it was we had to give up. But as soon as the British were leaving, the Chinese army went straight in there.
Yep.
You can see them all preparing beyond the border.
Yes, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, that was pretty. It, it's up to them what they do now, do for it. But it was pretty bad at the time because,
Yeah, and it's funny because the people in Hong Kong, right?
yeah,
When the Queen died, they actually went to the British Council and they was actually paying their respects. And the
yes,
Chinese government did not like that.
no, Chinese government don't like a lot, do they?
Yeah, I guess not.
No, they're one of the few communist countries left now.
Right.
I think it's China, North
It's Ch-
Korea.
it's China, North Korea, Vietnam,
Is Vietnam
Laos.
communist or is it changed now?
It's still communist.
Okay,
Laos is still a communist country, and then Cuba.
yeah. It's always the poorer countries, apart from China.
Right.
It seems to be more driven by communism, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Britain, France, the United States.
Right.
You know, Italy and Spain.
Yep.
But I tell you, the country they're talking about over here, and they're saying it's becoming a superpower now,
Yeah.
is Poland.
I've heard.
Yeah, the build-up of arms in Poland is astronomical.
Yeah, because they're not feeling Putin, man.
Yeah, Putin's got a missile now that's well, so have we, but it seems to be a bit more advanced. It's got a nuclear missile that can carry up to 13 or 14 new warheads, which can go in separate places.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
So
So what
I don't
happens
know
is, how
I don't
happens
know
is,
what
sorry, Cliff.
I don't know what NATO was gonna do about that, but shoot.
Yeah. So what happens is they fire the missile. The missile's got all in one casing, so it
Mhm.
travels up and it travels halfway to its destination. And after its travels destination, it separates. The warhead casing comes off, and you've got the 14, 13 or 14 different warheads, and they'll travel to independent targets.
Wow.
And that is an intercontinental ballistic missile capable of hitting anywhere in the world. They've also got hypersonic missiles that can carry nuclear warheads, but most of them are usually for naval engagements.
Wow.
The one thing they seriously lack, they haven't got any air. They've got an aircraft carrier which is absolute crap and it breaks down. They've only got one.
All right.
They've got no dry dock because the dry dock for that sunk in the sea.
Mm-hmm.
And that aircraft carrier needs to have a flotilla of tugboats.
All right.
But what we're finding out about with the war in Ukraine, is that Russian technology isn't as great as it looks.
I mean, it really doesn't because from what I'm is all right. I watched the clip of this guy that went to like the farthest region of Russia,
Yeah,
and all these young men, I guess that were in that part of Russia, they
Yeah.
actually had an incentive just to join the Russian military. And these guys, they looked like they was strong and everything. So I was like, tag. Is a shame that that these young men are are fighting this war
Mm.
or special operational
Yeah.
whatever
Well,
people want to say.
you have to look at Russia in historically too. Russia has
Hmm.
never been a great military power.
Hmm.
Russia,
Interesting.
Russia has always been defeated.
I mean,
If you look at World War One,
right.
they lost how many men in World War One? Millions,
Wow.
which
And then
created which created the Russian Revolution.
and then the revolution happened like in 1917.
Yes, that's the reason why they had the revolution because they were losing so many men, and they were sick and tired of the bougie people because they were bougie,
Hmm. Yep.
and they went and had their own revolution, and that carried on till 1919.
Right.
Also, in World War Two, everybody forgets
They,
this
they,
too.
they, they lost a lot of men. I know that for a
Yeah,
fact.
they did lose a lot of men in World War Two, but they also helped to create World War Two.
I mean, from what I heard, there was like that Hitler went up and double crossed Stalin,
Yeah,
and
well,
then
you know what
that's
happened? Yeah, what happened was, well, Europe, the rest of Western Europe was getting battered by Hitler. Stalin was supplying Hitler materials,
all right.
and along with the US too.
Hmm.
Why do you think? Why do you think the Fanta's about?
Mm.
Do you know the history of Fanta?
Nah, please tell me.
Okay, so in the 1930s, Coca-Cola was being made under license in Germany.
All
Hitler got
right.
in. Well, the war started. Coca-Cola withdrew the license. So
Mm-hmm.
to make a soft drink, they invented a drink out of whey,
Right.
and they called it Fanta. So Fanta was a Nazi drink.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, but then Coca-Cola brought after the war. Coca-Cola brought the Fanta, the license for Fanta, and it was a part of Coca-Cola. But it was they started off as a Nazi drink. And you know about Hugo Boss, yeah?
Yeah. I've heard, like, I'm not going to say that I've heard, but I've heard rumblings. I'm not going to go around and say that I
Yeah,
do, but also I've always heard that Hugo Boss had something to do with the Nazi party.
yeah. He
I
made the
just can't.
uniforms.
Wow.
He designed the uniforms. Why
Mm,
do you think that? I mean, they were horrible people, but their uniforms were so smart.
wow.
Yeah. Okay. Volkswagen, BMW.
Yeah, I mean BMW
Yeah.
and I know it's Volkswagen, BMW, and the and Daimler.
Mercedes.
Because
Mercedes.
I remember when I was a kid and I
Uh-huh.
started reading and I was really a car enthusiast. Remind
Yeah.
you, I just loved cars, even though I don't drive. But as a
Yeah.
kid, I always like um the I was a car enthusiast because I like reading books about cars, etc. Right? So
Yeah.
they show like this 1930s Benz, right? But the
Yeah.
Benz was actually but the Benz was like a military Benz that only Adolf Hitler actually rode in.
Okay. So Volkswagen, Mercedes, BMW, all the German car companies of that time all made aircraft engines. and they helped to fuel the Luftwaffe at the time. Yeah, so
Right.
they're all part of the Nazi machine.
Yeah. I mean, you got to admit it is Germany, so therefore,
Yeah, no, you don't hold it against them, but they still got links to that party.
yep.
Um,
Historically and maybe technically, because
yeah, I mean they used to even Britain during the
hmm
Battle of Britain. German and the British pilots used to be given speed
yeah.
because it would keep them up
hmm
and to fly. I mean, they were flying so many missions a day during the Battle of Britain.
Right.
You know, and after the Battle of Britain, Britain got its home back on Germany. They bombed Dresden, and US did. The Allies bombed Dresden, and they created a firestorm. And it was so bad that people were sinking into the tarmac. That's how hot it was. The tarmac was actually melting properly. And there was a story of a British POW, and they sent the POWs to help to clean up the city. And they said he went down to this cellar, and all you seen was this pool of greasy, browny, greeny sludge. He later found out that sludge was people. The people actually melted.
Wow.
You know, it must
Mm.
have been full of about 13, 14 people, that cellar, and they just melted.
Wow.
You don't hear stories like that, do you?
I mean, I've heard a lot of messed up stories. I just haven't heard that story.
Yeah. The worst one is Japanese.
Tell me about it. They did a lot of dirt.
Have you
And
heard
and
of?
so
I'm going to use okay, so I'm going to use a certain word, and you're going to guess
I
what it's
I
called.
I I know which one you're talking about. The grape.
Nanking.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I knew a person who was from Hong Kong. She's probably passed
hmm
away now. It was a long time ago, and she said to me, if they didn't bow, the Japanese officers would chop off their heads.
Yeah.
Um, have you heard of Unit 7? What was it, 715?
Nah, I haven't.
That's where the worst ones happened. Japanese had a unit called 715. It was a secret testing site.
But I would love to hear about it.
They done some really nasty things there.
Wow.
So nasty, I can't even talk about it on here.
Right. Later on I'll actually put on I actually have a Telegram chat that you could actually talk about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I'll put the link in the description.
yeah,
Just one second.
have to be some other time because I've got an essay to write today. But I'll have a look at that. I've got to write a 1,600 word essay on why World War One lasted for so long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do it and everything like that because I will make you an admin.
Okay.
And I'm about to wrap up. But thank you for being on my panel poll. And you're welcome anytime in my
Thank
chat.
you. And the same with you too on my chat when I start doing one again.
Of course, and I will tell my friends to actually come and support you as well
Yeah, thank you very much.
anytime.
Let me do this. What is this Telegram?
Yeah, this Telegram is my channel that
Okay.
I made, so therefore, like it's whatever we could talk. Like if there's stuff that you don't want to mention on YouTube, you could
Yeah.
actually mention on Telegram.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
do. All right. Cool, man. We'll have a chat about that.
All right.
There you
So
go.
you have any closing words, Paul?
Just everybody have a good night and look after yourselves and be good to each other.
Thank you.
And you look
And
after yourself, mate.
thank you, Paul. And one thing I gotta say, this has been a good stream, and I'm about to have another one. Well, it's actually about the Dominican music scene. But
Uh,
check me out next week. We're gonna have more thought provoking streams. So
yeah.
tell everybody to come through, and
Okay.
we're gonna have this
Yeah.
this great thought provoking streams. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm
Um,
about.
all right, dude. Well, you look after yourself.
You too, Paul.
Will do, mate. Take care, everybody.
All right,
Right.
all right. Well, that's all, folks. And thank you for anybody who was in the chats, who's been supporting me, who was on the panel. Maybe tomorrow I might have an impromptu stream, so stay tuned. With all that said, good night.